welcome back to the Week 16 Commissioner Update video. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right into it. So for Week 16, Team On Tackle came out in first place with 13 correct picks. In second place with 12 correct picks, 4 teams were tied, and that is Last Team Standing, Pterodactyls, the Blind Darts, and Echo All-Stars. So looking at our overall standings, this should be no surprise since I believe they've done pretty well the past few weeks. Team On Tackle is in first place by themselves with 153 correct picks. They've taken the lead. Tied for second place, we have Are You Rossetti for Some Football and the Blind Darts. And then tied for fourth place, we've got Red Zone Royalty and the Pterodactyls. So we've got, I believe 2 weeks left worth of pick'ems to make, 32 games. So there's definitely still some room to make up places. But again, we are running out of time to make those moves. So every pick going forward is a pretty big deal.
It sure is. We've got, positions have changed very quickly, a lot of injuries, a lot of play changes. It really is anybody's games to win or lose, and as players will be rested and we get closer and closer to the championship, these last 2 weeks are really going to change some things up, I think.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So looking at the games coming up this week, we've got the Thursday Night Football Cowboys at the Titans, 6:15 MST. And with that, Brittany, when are picks due every week?
So glad you asked, Kyle. It's really important that everyone out there knows that picks are due 5 minutes prior to the start of the Thursday night game, which historically has been 6:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Is there any change to that this week?
No change to that this week. That's still when picks are due.
All right. Well, you heard it, folks. Make sure you get your picks in by 6:10 p.m. Thursday night before the start of the first game. Hey, Kyle, lots of shakeup and exciting things happening in the league. Would you like to hear about it?
Absolutely. Give us the rundown so we can make the best picks we can.
Well, first off, I wouldn't be a true Yinzer if I didn't take a moment to mention a few things. First, very sad news this past week with the untimely passing of Franco Harris. Fun fact, if you go into the Pittsburgh airport and fly in, there are 2 primary statues there right as you come down the stairway, and that is one of George Washington, and the other is Franco Harris making the Immaculate Reception pick there. So if that gives you any indication of the type of hometown hero Franco Harris was, Immaculate Reception did celebrate its 50-year anniversary on December 23rd. So it was a big game for Steelers against the Raiders to commemorate that. And they retired Franco Harris's number 32 jersey, only the 3rd Steeler jersey to be retired. So it was a bittersweet moment. That game was very exciting as Franco Harris made big plays with the Immaculate Reception 50 years prior against the Raiders. Another Steelers with Harris on back made some big plays for the Steelers to win against the Raiders. Najee Harris had some key moments in the game, so look for him to continue on that journey as the Steelers eke by in their, 5% chance to make it in to the playoffs at this point. So I'll be watching them play the Ravens this weekend with no nails left, I'm sure. But big game there.
So if I've heard you correctly, you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance, a very slim chance, but yes. So I'm saying there's a chance. In other hometown news for our friends out there in Denver, Broncos fired their first-year coach, Nathaniel Hackett, following a 51-14 loss to the Rams. That was tough for anybody to watch. And based on how the Colts were playing, I don't think Saturday will be far behind him, but we'll see how that plays out. But speaking of Colts, Chargers did clinch the playoff after defeating the Colts. They did eliminate the Raiders in the process. Derwin James was ejected for helmet-to-helmet hit on Ashton Doolin. Both are in concussion protocol, as is Tua in concussion protocol again. So we've talked about how critical that is and all of that. We've seen that all season. So that happens once again. TJ Watt, a big playmaker, big player for the Steelers. In other Watt news, JJ Watt announced his retirement. So that'll be interesting to see. Panthers signed former star cornerback Josh Norman after JC Horn undergoes wrist surgery. So look for him to make some plays. Mike White is cleared to play for the Jets in Week 17. So consider that when you're making your picks. Joe Flacco will back him up, and Zach Wilson will be the QB3, as well as inactive on game days. Jets are likely to move from that 2021 second overall pick, Zach Wilson, after the conclusion of the 2022-23 season. So I don't think that pick panned out for them very well. Eagles, Lane Johnson is out for the year. That Steelers-Ravens game has flexed to Sunday night since that's going to be some exciting football. So keep an eye on that for the updates to the schedule and if that might impact your picks at all. But the Ravens clinched playoffs win over the Falcons, so they've eliminated Atlanta from playoff contention. They are officially out, but Ravens will still be playing for the division, so I don't think they'll rest anyone quite yet. That's still a big game. Rams DT Aaron Donald out for the season. Bengals did clinch a playoff berth after the Jets lost to the Jaguars. So a lot of if-thens happening scenarios with all of these last games these next 2 weeks. But Jaguars take the lead in the AFC South after defeating the Jets and Houston's win over the Titans. And last but not least, Justin Jefferson's still in the hunt. He is 209 yards away from breaking the all-time receiving yards record in a single season. So he will still be playing quite a bit and could impact some picks there. So a lot's happening in the league still. I know we're down to the last 2 weeks, but take a look at all the things that are happening before making your picks, because there are going to be some big changes. Not a lot of teams resting anyone quite yet. That's what I've got for injury reports and NFL League updates. But as always, Kyle, it's time for another exciting Brits picks. And I know last week you came through. It only took 16 weeks into the season, but you saw a movie. Can we continue that streak? I know initially when I say the year, it's probably going to be some head nodding, but 1991, another comedy classic. Clearly you're good on comedies. Necessary Roughness. Have you seen it?
We cannot continue the streak. I have not seen Necessary Roughness.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about it. It might be one that you check out here. So 91, due to NCAA sanctions, the Texas State University Fighting Armadillos must form a football team from their actual student body, no scholarships to help out, to play out their football schedule. So they go recruiting from folks that they wouldn't normally put a team together with. My favorite cast member in this, Quantum Leap's Scott Bakula, stars as a 34-year-old quarterback since he's attending the university. But key appearances by Sinbad. You big Sinbad fan, Kyle? You might want to check this one out. Kathy Ireland is a female place kicker from their soccer team, joins the league. Larry Miller plays the dean, which, fun fact, Larry Miller also played the dean in Nutty Professor. But he pairs back up with Hector Elizondo after their Pretty Woman co-starring days. Jason Bateman, well before his Ozark days, and Rob Schneider round out this eclectic cast. This film isn't winning any awards like some of our past Brits picks have, but an entertaining football film nonetheless. Have it on the background while you set up your fantasy lineup, just to get you in the football mood. So that's my pick for this week. Keep it lighthearted, some football entertainment as we come down to the wire before we ramp up into playoffs. But I say check it out. It's good fun. Again, have it on the background. It's not going to make you think a whole lot, I would say, with this one. Keeping it light going into week 17. All right, Kyle, that's all I got for the week. Any last minute advice to the teams before we send them off to make their picks?
No, I'd say get your picks in on time. And as always, make good choices.